Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your February reading. Okay, that clearly wants to come out. We're going to go ahead and jump into what message is important for you guys in the month of February. First card, we have the Sun card, that is Leo energy. Then we have the Queen of Swords. And that's, of course, air sign energy. So that's Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, like yourself. And then we have the Hermit in the reverse, which is Virgo energy. So what this is looking like, my wonderful Aquarius, the first thing that comes to mind for me, for you guys, is that you recently, and I don't want to say just January, but literally up until this point, you guys have gone through a healing and transformative process. There's been some clarity that you all have received in reference to your life path, or it's just a very important decision that you guys have made. And I just heard, for others of you, this is speaking to someone outside of yourself. It's a female figure that you admire, whether you're male or female. Not necessarily this person is your mentor, but I feel it's someone from the outside looking in. And so this could literally be a motivational speaker. It could be anything along those lines. But I feel that this person has been an inspiration in your transformation, in your growth. So I don't know if you're taking their courses, reading their books, watching their channel, whatever the case. But I feel it's gotten you guys to a place to where you're feeling happy and you're feeling content within yourself, right? Whether this is your own personal work, or for others of you where this is someone that you're looking up to, you know. But I feel with this Hermit in the reverse being here, the biggest issue for you guys this month is going to be to take everything it is that you've learned up to this point and bring it into the real world. So this is more or less a call to come out of the cave for you all. It's more or less that you guys have kind of been in the shadows, not really engaging with, people too much, because you've been on this personal work journey or this healing journey, and you're in a good place. You're feeling okay with yourself. But I feel with this Hermit in the reverse, there's a little bit of fear that's attached to that, because although you've mastered this in the individualistic sense, I think there's a part of you that's reluctant. And I think you're kind of rationalizing it, because the thought is, say this is a spiritual journey you've been on. It's like, I got to this level and it's like, I don't want to, deal with these people because they're toxic. And, I don't want, good vibes only type of vibe, So that's more or less your rationalization for staying isolated. And many of you know how I feel about isolation and solitude, two very different things. Solitude is something that we're doing temporarily that has an end, to just recharge our batteries, specifically if you're an introvert. But isolation, goodness gracious, dang Palo Santo. Anyway, isolation is something that we do out of fear. So the vibe I'm getting with this, whether this is representing some sort of spiritual teacher, or this is representing the work that you guys have done, right? Like I always say with the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, it's allowing your experience to make you better as opposed to bitter. Dang, that Palo Santo is hitting, child. But it's allowing your experiences to make you better as opposed to bitter. However, I feel that there's a fear interlaced with this, where the energy is telling you guys it's time to step out and to bring that into the world, but there's a reluctance to do so. And I think it's because it feels kind of like a subconscious thing, where it's a little bit of doubting yourself, of either in fear that you could encounter people that are going to bring you back to where you were, or it's a fear of kind of testing it out. But truth be told, even if you look at it like school, right? You never know what you know unless you're tested on it, because the test is going to let you know how much you've mastered the information. So I really feel for the Aquarius Collective, the call for the month of, why was I about to say June? That is so strange. The call for the month of February is for you guys to start putting action to the work that you've done, because that's how you're going to overcome that fear that you may be having, you know, even if this is speaking to training, you know, whether this is, I mean, there's no wands here, but if it's, you know, you guys got your Reiki master certification, or you got your life coach certification, and it's like being afraid to step out and get your first client because it's the thought of, oh, like, what if I mess up? Or, you know, or even, you know, yoga certification, personal trainer, whatever the case. That's another way that I could see this. It's like you've done the work, but it's like you're doubting your ability. Now, the card we have that came out, child, look, listen to your friend Marlo. We have the Carrot card. It says opportunity or windfall. So here's the thing. Why this is coming out, my wonderful Aquarius is because if you step out and you allow yourself to be known for the time, energy, and effort you put into either the certification, education, personal development, what have you, right? There's something for you. Whether it's, you know, financial abundance, if it's, you know, being a part of, and I don't know why I keep seeing this in a lot of readings, like being a part of a bigger organization where your gifts are really needed. It's like, if you don't ever step out and you don't allow yourself to be seen, right? Or you don't send that vibration out with you aligning with it, that opportunity will never come, that money will never come. So this is about overcoming this fear in the month of February, stepping out to show the world what it is that you've done so that you can magnetize to you what's for you, because there's something waiting, my friend. I hope that this has helped, Aquarius. If you're interested in your extended, where we're going to dive deeper into this energy, you're more than welcome to check the description box below this video and check it out. Of course, if you're a member on my network or on any of my other platforms, you can access it there. But I love your face, Aquarius, and I will see you next time, my friend. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump right in and see what the cards have to tell you guys for this month. Let's take a gander here, my friends. I hope you guys have been doing well since the last time that we spoke. Let's see here. All right, so you guys cards, first card out, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Unfortunately, my autofocus is not being a nice person today. Trust me. Next card you guys have is the Two of Cups. The next card that you guys have is the Ace of Wands. So here's the thing, my wonderful Sagittarius people, what it is looking like is there's an opportunity this month for you guys to come into alignment with something that is very much in alignment with you. It's something that has the potential to turn out to be quite harmonious. It's something that could literally be, and I hate to put this much weight on it, but it could literally be the missing piece to your puzzle. And this can be whether romantically or it can be work related, meaning that you have a certain skill set or you have a certain passion. And this can be the ideal position at a particular company in which your gifts will be useful, right? However, the issue that I'm seeing here, even though this new opportunity is coming with the Ace of Wands, right? This is a call for you all to get, I'm sorry, I'm choking on Palo Santo, but this is a call for you all to come into alignment with yourself, because there's an aspect of yourself, and I feel specifically that it's femininity, which I mean, not in the sense of like external earthly world femininity. It's more or less you guys are very comfortable in the position of giving. However, when it comes to receiving, it's very hard for you to do. It's very difficult for you to receive compliments. It's very difficult for you to receive gifts. You don't necessarily expect them. If someone makes a big fuss over your birthday, you're kind of like, oh, you know, it's just a day. You know what I mean? So with this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, it's being out of alignment with that divine feminine aspect of yourself, which is that receptivity. So even though the call for this month and the opportunity that's on offer is something that's perfectly and ideally in alignment with you, it's going to be a difficulty in you receiving it, whether this is career related or love related, because this part of yourself is very much blocked, right? And of course, I always say that when it comes to receptivity, in a psychological sense, it always goes back to a worth and value issue. One feels more in control and more comfortable with being the go-to person and the giver and the provider. But being in that receptivity puts you in this position to where it triggers fear, because it's the thought of what if my need isn't met. So it's feeling a sense of comfort with, if I'm in control and I'm the one that, you know, has the resources and I decide who gets what and make sure that I have what I need, then I'm safe, right? This is so weird, but I'm gonna say it. But it's more or less like, if you're the one that's in control and has the resources, you're safe. So even if that's, you know, people relying on you or what have you, you're totally cool with that, with operating in that very masculine energy of giving, the doing, and all of these things. It's a safe space for you. However, this opportunity, I feel, is going to be very risky for you guys. In the bigger scheme of things, it really shouldn't be, but it's because you guys are so used to operating in this particular way that makes this scary for you. It's like, if you were okay with receiving, it would be like, here's the idyllic thing that I have drawn in because I knew this particular thing was missing. Like, I am an awesome graphic designer, and at this company that I really like, there's a graphic design position, and I just so happen to be the person who's over human resources, recruiting and hiring, right? As opposed to seeing it this way, I feel you guys are going to see it as a risk. It's really going to come off as something that's too good to be true. And the reason for that goes back to this issue with the Queen of Pentacles that has a great deal to do with you being uncomfortable with receiving. So I really feel like that's going to be, it's not that deck. I feel that's going to be the main thing for you guys on this month. That is going to be the topic of your focus of healing, right? It's really getting to the bottom of, even with some of you admitting that your inability to receive. So like, if you're that strong friend type of person and you play that role where everyone goes to you for stuff and you're always kind of rescuing everyone and giving everyone solutions to things, it's like, this is when we take a long, hard look in the mirror. And we ask ourselves, like, why am I so comfortable with that? The other message I got is with the symbol that's on this card. Autofocus, please be nice to me. Please be nice to Marlo. Please be nice to Marlo. If you guys can see the gold foil, this symbol I don't know. I feel for someone out there because I think it's funny. I didn't see it like that at first until I glanced at it, but this is something for those of you guys who weren't born in the 90s. It makes me feel so horrible about my life. But for those of you who, like myself, were in elementary, middle, and high school in the 90s, I will not say which one I'm in. But that symbol is something we used to draw on the chalkboard, you know, before they had whiteboards with the markers. That's something that it looks very similar to that symbol that a lot of us used to draw on the chalkboard. You know, everybody taught you how to do it. I don't know. There's no significance to it, but I feel like that's for someone that resonates with that. Oh, wow. 3 cards came out for you guys. First card that we have is guarded. And it says closed off, things yet to be revealed, braced, cautious, private, muted, conservation. I totally get it. The vibe I get with this, Sag, is there's an element of holding back with this Queen of Pentacles. And I feel you guys see it consciously as a self-protection, but you're not seeing how this self-protection that you're engaging in is really holding you back from opportunities. So I don't feel that this is the first, like, 2 of Cups or Ace of Cups that's been offered to you. This is not the first time this has happened. It's just that there's a dissension with your conscious self and your authentic self, right? And there's a level of suppression there. And because you're so fearful of being disappointed or being hurt, harmed, or maimed or something like that, you're like hyper vigilant and overcautious, to where something could be a blessing and you often see it as a curse because of your perspective. Oh, wow, that's 4 cards. Oh my. Next card is longevity. We have pacing oneself, long haul, slow and steady, going the distance to stability, strength, courage, staying the course, on a plan of action, resolve, movement forward. I feel this speaks to you guys' character. It's more or less your expectation. And this is where this gets into you guys' other readings that I've done for you already. And it spoke a lot about self-sabotage. It's like you guys stay the course with things and ride it till the wheel falls off, but it's not understanding why you've never gotten the fruit. And it's because several times before, it's like how you perceive yourself based on past experience is what makes something that's a blessing seem like a curse. So you kind of cut yourself off from what could be new opportunities because you don't see them as an opportunity based on past experience. And it has a lot to do with this guarded energy. The next card is victim mindset. It says insufficient awareness of personal power, excessive belief that world is acting against, increased sensitivity, and searching the environment to detect a threat. That's hypervigilance, blame, denial of personal responsibility. Yeah, man. It would seem like every person you date or every job that you're on, it's like it's feeling this sense of you being attacked, but it's not understanding that in some sense or another, whoever would resonate with this, you're coming into a space guarded because of this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, like you measuring yourself less than when you're really not. And your heart being blocked, and people are responding to the fact that you're guarded. And then you're noticing with hypersensitivity or hypervigilance that now they're reflecting back to you what you're doing already, but you're not aware that you're doing this. And then you feel offended of the fact that I'm putting so much time, energy, and effort into this. Why is this not working? So you're suspicious of new opportunities. The next card is surrender. And it says detachment, cease, resistance, acceptance, and flow. So dude, the whole thing here is, this is talking about you guys facing your greatest fear in order to get what it is that you're desiring. In order for you to get over this hump, it's gonna require you to, your longevity is totally good, but it's all about what you're channeling that into. And it's kind of perpetuating this cycle. And what needs to be confronted is this guarded nature, this hard-heartedness, this 10-foot level boundaries in this victim mindset, which is the reason why one is so guarded, because it's this feeling as if you're being attacked, you know? And I feel this is something you guys have done for some time, and it's all about you guys surrendering to spirit. So I hope that this helps, Sag. If you guys are interested in the extended, the link is in the description box below this video on my network, as well as all of my other platforms. But I'm going over to my network to do your extended. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your February reading. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what's going on for you all for the month of February, my friends. This is interesting that I feel compelled to do this. That was not a part of the program, but okie dokie, lemon chokey. Let's go with it. All right. So first off, oh my God. I'm sorry. Cancer, like I told all the signs before you, I have literally burned some Palo before I started you guys reading, and my lungs are just like, what the fuck? Oh God, my apologies. Anywho, first card that you guys have, we have the moon in the reverse. So that's speaking to, of course, the subconscious and your energy, Cancer. Next, we have the page of swords in the reverse. I can already tell you that this is about dreams. So of course, the page of swords in the reverse, one or two things I'm picking up with this, that this is either like creative blocks, mental blocks, not really being able to see potential possibility, feeling kind of limited, like glass ceiling kind of vibes. And of course, on the other side of this, this is speaking to a little, stalkerific kind of energy. Next card that we have is the King of Wands in the reverse. So I'm going to be quite honest. First message that I get with this, of course, King of Wands in the reverse. We're talking about someone that's potentially a male energy, but this would be someone that lacks creativity. Not saying that this is you, Cancer, but for some of you guys, this could be someone that's in your space. It would be a male figure. They could either be Cancer, Leo, cusp, or they could have fire prominently in their chart in their sun, moon, or rising. But this is a person who lacks creativity, that has a position that may be, what do you call that? When it's like, I forgot what the word is, but it's like when you're like, kind of grandfathered in, or it's like, friends or family that work at a company, and that's kind of how you got the position. But this is like a person who either lacks creativity. Oh God, this is weird. For those of you out there who know human design, this is very strange. I don't ever get messages like this. Those of you out there who know the human design types, this person specifically is a manifester, not a manifesting generator. They're just a manifester. Very strange. Okay, side note. But this is a person who's in a position that they're not qualified to be in. So it's almost like, you know, friends, family, whatever, they rubbed elbows to get in this particular position, right? And this person is very jealous of Cancer's ability to create, so much so they are, it's almost like they're putting seeds of doubt into you, and you have really great ideas. And this is something I can tell you, Cancer, because where this moon in the reverse comes in, you've either felt this intuitively, or this is something that's literally been coming to you in dreams. Like if you've been having a lot of crazy dreams, it's like spirit has been trying to tell you this in dreams, or you just have an unction about it. But if this is a work scenario, it's kind of where this person is so high up that whatever your position is, like say hypothetically, not even saying if you're entry level, like if you're on the design team and this person is on, you know, the executive team, the design team isn't always going to go to an executive meeting, but I feel it's some way that you and this person, so even if this is a department head or something, it's like you work with this person and they like shit on your ideas, for a lack of better words, and makes you question yourself, because I feel in some sense or another, you came into this group, this company, feeling like you could do a lot, feeling like you had a gift, but this person like shits on all of your ideas, right? But they take them and go in a place where you would never know that they're doing this, right? And they're sharing your ideas as if they're your own, right? And I feel the same scenario, even if this is a mentor, if this is a romantic partner, a sibling, there's a dynamic here of where there's a person who's keeping you small, that's causing you to lose hope within yourself or about your potential, and they're somehow benefiting from it, right? Now, and I feel like I said, in your dreams or intuitively, you're getting messages about this. Now, an entirely different message that I have about this would relate to a Cancerian person, not all of you, but this would be a Cancerian person where this is a person who is, for lack of better words, an underachiever. They're not living up to their potential, excuse me, and they're not doing their shadow work. If you need to do shadow work, I have a whole course on it on my network, just a side note. But it's not facing either mommy wounds or, you know, just past issues. It's not really wanting to dive deep. And this is kind of reminding me of what it is that I saw with the Sagittarius energy, is because you're not diving deep and because you're not facing this fear. And in order for you to get to the good parts of yourself, like the hidden treasure within, in order for you to access that, it requires you to go through this proverbial dark night of the soul, shadow work, or facing a lot of dark things about ourselves that we don't necessarily want to face, doing our, you know, subconscious work or what have you. But it's a reluctance to do this work. So even though people can look at you and see the potential that you have, and it's so much that you could be contributing to the world, to your company, to, you know, your community, whatever the case, it's like, because of your own doubt in yourself, which also goes back to what I said to Sagittarius, because of one's own self-doubt, you're not living up to your potential. But what is kind of, you know, like sucking in your energy, that's keeping you in this bitterness with this Page of Swords in the reverse, where it's a lot of comparison between you and other people, and like trolling through social media and lurking and seeing what's going on with other people, and that making you even more angry, and you thinking like, I could do better than that and I could do a better job at that, but you're just not. It's like that part of you that's saying you can do better than that is the charge for you to do the work so that you can align with your authentic self. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't do that work, it's just going to keep you in this cycle of bitterness where you're aligning with like this very dark moon Lilith kind of energy, dark mother, you know, and that's all the stuff we talk about in the shadow work course. It's like the shadow aspects of all of our mothers in life. how we internalize those, like all of our mother's fears and everything else, we internalize all of that. And that is a huge contribution to what our shadow is. And we're living those things out and how that's keeping us from our destiny. So not for all cancers, but just for the second group of cancers, I'm seeing someone who isn't living up to their potential, you know, and it's very fear-based as to why you're not living up to your potential. So I'm going to pull an oracle card for you guys to see what additional information we can give for you all. What else can we tell Cancer Spirit? There's no need to compare yourself to others, because I feel it's like you're comparing yourself to other people, but it's not even understanding, like you have something that's very unique about yourself, but it's almost like you're putting salt in the wound by comparing yourself to other people. And this is a lot like what it is that I saw for Sag in their other extended readings, in the sense that it's like creating this life that was never intended to belong to you type of deal, you know? Wow, these are two cards that came out for Sag. Are you kidding? We have guarded, closed off, things yet to be revealed, braced, cautious, private, muted, conservation, and victim mindset, insufficient awareness of personal power, excessive belief that the world is acting against, increased sensitivity, and searching the environment to detect a threat, blame, denial of personal responsibility. Yeah, man, this is the whole thing. It's like it's being trapped in this energy, and you're called to so much more. There's supposed to be a transformation and a transcendence that's happening here, but it's a very fear-based energy that's keeping you trapped. So your energy is unbalanced because all of the goodies of yourself that exist in your inner child / subconscious, those are the things you want to tap into to bring to the fore, to share with the world. But because you have this fear of being victimized or attacked or stolen from, or like, you know, people who have money are evil, or, you know, whatever the mindset is, it's like you're operating at half life. But there's a need for you, like, and I said to everyone, you have to face your fears, with our North Node being in Taurus and South Node being in Scorpio. If you want anything this year, there's a requirement for you to face your fears. If you don't face your fears, then you'll get nothing. That's like the, what do you call it? The prerequisite to you living the life that you desire is you have to face your fears. And that's very strong this year. But Cancer, that's what I have for you guys overall, generally for the month of February. If you're interested in your extended, where I'm going to continue to play out these energies, or you guys soul session for the month of February, you can find them on my network or all of the other platforms that I am on. And the links to that are in the description box below this video. But if not, I love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Cancer. Welcome. Wait, did I say Cancer? I meant Libra. I'm so sorry, Libra. I just did Cancer. My apologies. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your February reading. Let's go ahead and see what these cards have for you guys. Any messages we have for you for the month of February, my friend. I am so sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Anywho, so first card that we have, ooh, nice. We have the Ace of Swords. So it's a mental breakthrough or a truth that comes out this month, or clarity on something that you guys have kind of been grappling with for some time. Then we have the Three of Swords in the reverse. And I feel that the truth that's going to come up is going to be very intricately related to a past disappointment or heartbreak. And speaking of Cancer, with this Three of Swords in the reverse, this is really speaking to any comparisons that you guys have between yourself and other people. So I feel a lot of the proverbial heartache that Libras have felt up until this point have been with you guys comparing yourself to other people and not really seeing that what I feel. And this is interesting, y'all. This is all channeled message here. I feel with you guys, you're called to do something that's very different, something that's very innovative, something that's very one of a kind, something that's very unique to you. And even though you can see similarities with yourself and other people, it's something about you that's different for good reason. And I feel if you've ever tried to put yourself into a box, like if you think about like stereotypes they have with people, like the emo girl or, you know, the prissy girl, the girly girl, whatever, it's like you guys have never really fit into those categories. And I feel up until this point, but really kind of tapping on recently, like if we're literally talking December, January, you guys have really felt kind of like sticking out like a sore thumb, because I feel it's kind of like whatever's going on around you. And this could be something like, you know, all of your high school besties, like everyone is getting married and having babies and in those certain like kind of life stages, but you're seeing that like you're not there, like you're kind of set apart from everyone else. But I feel up until the month of February, you've seen you being set apart as a less than stellar thing, into where you've been kind of questioning how you've lived your life to this point, the decisions you've been making. It's like, did I really go the right path? Is this really the right thing for me? But I feel in the month of February, I don't really feel this is going to come like first week or anything. This very well could be like maybe the third, fourth week, you know, somewhere around like 13th through the 26th, especially if Valentine's Day is going to hit you some way, shape, form, or fashion. But I feel that a truth is going to come midpoint of the month where how you were different, it's gonna make sense to you, almost like, you know, like, I get it, right? You know, and it's more or less you going passionately in that direction. Because I feel for you guys up to this point, things have been kind of slow moving or stagnated, and you've taken the slowing down of energy as a sign that maybe you were doing something wrong. But what I'm really feeling with this is that it was an energetic shift that was happening. So it really had nothing to do with you or that you were doing something wrong, but because, and I mean, what I would infer from this is you're someone like myself that is a seasonal living person. So you know that there's like a time for sowing, there's a time for reaping. And I feel when it comes to the cycle, whichever cycle that you're living by, it's a time for reaping, and that hasn't happened. And your first thought was like, did I do something wrong? And that's like, typically you're someone who lives from the within to the without. And it caused you to start looking to the without and looking at what everyone else was doing. Like, okay, where did I mess up? Because if things are off kilter, then I must have stepped out of alignment somewhere. But it's a divine timing kind of thing. But I feel that you guys are going to get clarity on that this month. The next card that you guys have, looky there, is the Six of Swords. Look, Libra, y'all are clear cut and straight to the point, my friend. So what this is saying for you guys, it's like things were just kind of slow in coming. I think it's interesting that all of this is mental energy. You were kind of going through a little bit of self-doubt. And like I said, internalizing what was happening external to you. But by the midpoint of the month, you guys are going to get clarity on that, and you're going to move out of this energy. So there's literally nothing for you guys to worry about, because what's coming forward, like from this point forward, like midpoint of February into March, is you guys are coming to calmer waters. So what it is intuitively that you knew that you were doing the work to head towards, that's going to become very clear to you, and this will be left behind. I don't even feel like I need to clarify that anymore. Libra, that has been your reading. If you want me to continue to play out this energy for you, use the links in the description box below this video to follow me over to my network or one of the many other platforms that I am on, my friend. And we're going to play this out for you guys in the month of February. But if not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your February reading, my friend. We're going to go ahead and jump into your cards and see what you guys need to know for the month of February. All right, let's see, Heather. I feel like I need to break in the center. All right, first card out. We have the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, and my autofocus is not being a nice person, but it's the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. For me, this is always things that are slipping through the cracks. I hate to say it this way, my friend, but it's kind of sloppy craftsmanship. It's something that you have the potential or the opportunity to master, but it's kind of neglecting the most important thing. So there's a lack thereof of prioritizing things. So it's something that you could master this month that's kind of slipping through the cracks because there's some sort of distraction that's going on here. The next card that we have is the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. There's a need to make a decision. I can already tell you guys, Leo, with the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse and the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, this is very much something related to finances or work. And the biggest issue is here is you kind of have too many balls in the air, and it's kind of an energy like being the jack of all trades and the master of none. And what this energy is really calling you guys to do is to master one. It's not saying that you have to throw caution to the wind and give up on everything else, but whatever, you have to prioritize things. Whatever is of utmost importance to you, you want to pour yourself into that fully, make that your mastery, make that your thing, right? Allow that to be a foundation for you, and then you can move on to the next thing. Because I feel whatever this is, it's a lot of fairly new, projects or relationships, friendships, or even if this is multiple streams of revenue. Like, say if you have a business and you have hell, you could be a YouTuber and because that's something that would make sense to me with this energy signature I'm seeing. If you think about a person who's on YouTube, like you have YouTube and like your ad revenue, you have like your merch, right? That's another stream of revenue. And I don't know, a sponsorship or something like that. And it's kind of like, because you have these different streams of revenue that are coming in, it's like it's almost like an overconfidence where you're being real frivolous with your money. Because as opposed to it being just one stream of revenue that you had, so say if you're someone, and this is all hypothetical, not saying that I'm literally talking to a YouTuber here, but if you were used to getting paid every 2 weeks, right? And you go from getting paid every 2 weeks till now you're getting paid every 2 weeks, and on the 20th of every month, your check from YouTube comes, right? It's almost like having a plan of how you manage your finances and kind of throwing that out because you have more money coming in, and it's fixating more on the fact that, oh, I don't need to budget anymore because I just have more money coming in, right? And you're spending frivolously. So it's a lot of money that's slipping through the cracks because you have this false sense of security with an extra income. But why I feel that this is coming out this way, and again, not saying this is literally a YouTuber, it's just hypothetical, but whatever this is speaking to, whether it's multiple projects or what have you, it's a need to kind of ground your energy and come back to reality a little bit and get back with the strategy and the plan, because I feel something that you're banking on, it could slow up or it could be a slow season. And there's a need to be kind of stacking money for a rainy day here, right? And so the same when it comes to, if this is a bunch of different things you have your hands in, it's like a time is going to come in the month of February where, you know, if you're acting as PR and I don't know, a pole fitness teacher and, you know, a life coach, like you're doing all this other stuff, a time is going to come this month where a person's going to be like, what do you do for a living? And it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm a pole fitness instructor and a life coach and, you know, all of this stuff that doesn't match. And this is really a call for you to stand for something, because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So even though I feel with this, it's very project, business, side hustle, career related, this still very much could be speaking to your own personal development journey. But it's more or less a thing where you're being pulled in a lot of different directions. And there's never been a need for you to stand for something. But why this is coming up is because in the month of February, a time is going to come for you to stand for something. And I feel for some of you guys, it's kind of like you've put your energy into so much stuff that, and I mean, for some of you, this could even be burnout. The next card that we have, there we go, is the 9 of Cups and the reverse. So here's the thing. With this, it's more or less like a baby wake up call, Leo, because it's kind of like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're putting a lot of energy into a lot of stuff, like you have a lot of irons in the fire, and you have this misconception that because you're doing so much that something's going to come out of it. But I feel if you don't get a handle on this, whether it's your finances and get back to a budget, whether if it's, you know, you picking up all of these side gigs, I feel like how I'm seeing it is this person has this set thing in their mind, like all this hard work is going to pay off, right? Because you're doing a lot of moving, and a lot of the movement, it's like kind of being on a hamster wheel. It's like because you're tired and you're moving, you have the perspective that you're making forward progress, but one never stopped to realize that you weren't running on a path, you're on a hamster wheel. So it's very possible that whether it's like something financial or, you know, an opportunity for an interview or what have you, like one particular stream of revenue kind of drying up, I feel it would be like a shock, because you'd be in a position where you're like, but I did so much. Like I wasn't even sleeping. Like I was doing so much stuff, but it's like ending the month with what you started with and not understanding how, whether that's mismanaging finances or the fact that you haven't mastered something. So the whole message of this is there's a need to ground yourself, to have like a sobering moment, to really see what it is that you're doing to clarify an end goal and to have those marker points in between. So whatever that goal is, you should be able to track it, whether that's your personal development, that's, finances, or what have you. So it's a little bit of a need for you guys to ground yourself this month, because I feel it's like you're just going. And it's just a hope that you have that things are going to work out, but you're not really tracking it. And there's a need to ground it and track it. I hope that that's making sense, my dear. And you guys extended, I'm going to go ahead and play this energy out more to give you guys more insights into what you're going to encounter this month. And in order to access that extended, you go ahead and look in the description box of this video, even if you want to join our shadow work course on the network, because that's where I am going now to do your extended. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your face, and I'll see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your February reading. Let's go ahead and jump into these cards to see what message we have for you guys for the month of February, my friends. Shout out to the Bull Gang, just saying. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, again, I feel like I need to break in the middle. All right. Okay, first card out, Taurus, we have the Hanged Man in the reverse. So there's a need to see something from a new perspective, my friend. But the irony of this is Taurus, it's more or less feeling that it's being in a perspective or a mindset that you overstand the situation. So it's a limited perspective. It's being in an energy where everything that's happening around you at present, you feel that you already know what's going on. Like, oh, I see what's happening here. Like, I get it, because you think that you overstanding, but y'all is looking like you don't even understand, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So there's more or less a need to get out of your period at the end of the sentence and get back to the semicolon, because there's a need to know that there's more to the story than what it is that you think you clearly see, because you're not seeing the whole picture. The next card is the 10 of Wands. Man, this is the thing. We're talking about carrying unnecessary burdens. So the thing that's scary about this, Taurus, is it's very well that you guys could be suffering with a sense of false responsibility in the month of February, to where you're either internalizing something or carrying burdens for other people. And I feel this almost in a sense of like a misunderstood message from spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or a misunderstanding. And this is so interesting. We've been talking about this a lot on the network, but the whole twin flame thing has been coming up a great deal lately in messages and things of the sort. And this is kind of one of those things where it's a misunderstanding of the twin flame union. And I'm saying this hypothetically, not saying that this is literally what's happening, but it's more or less this thought of, oh, this is this relationship that I'm in. And it's very burdensome and seemingly very toxic, and it's very taxing, and it's sucking all of my energy out of my soul. You know what I mean? It feels like someone's just sticking a straw in, just sucking all of my life force out. However, I'm supposed to carry this burden because that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I need to be doing this, you know, myself. And, you know, because this is a part of the journey. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to suffer in silence and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And with the Hangman upright, it's you having already made up your mind. And that's what the biggest issue is on the spiritual journey. When you start making judgments about things, judgments are final, right? So when you've already made your mind up about something, even if this is yourself, right? Even if this is making your mind up and saying, I ain't shit, I ain't never gonna be shit. I'm never gonna have money. I always been broke. Like my mama been broke, my daddy been broke, my great granddaddy been broke. Everybody in the whole family lineage is broke, right? So this is like a mindset or a conditioning that you feel obligated to carry. And the reason why, and there's a sense of pride I feel with this, it's almost like there's a sense of pride in the self-deprecation that, you know, I'm always there for everyone, but no one is ever there for me. And there's a sense of pride that you carry with that, because you've already made your mind up about it. But mind you, the Hanged Man is in the reverse, right? So you're completely convinced that this is the end all be all, and you know all there is to know about the thing, but the conclusion that you've come to is wrong. Like you're missing a very viable element. So this is very much in the energy of something I talk about a lot, which is becoming the God of your own life. It's when, and that's a position you don't ever want to be in on the spiritual journey, because that's how we get cult leaders and zealots. You know what I'm saying? Is when you think you have it all figured out. You're going to be a student for a lifetime. Even if you're a leader, you're a servant leader. That's the whole premise of the spiritual thing, right? It's never you knowing it all, because you're never going to know it all. You know what I'm saying? The only person that knows, and I mean, that's not even a person, but the only entity that knows all, sees all, and is the all that of which is spirit. You feel what I'm saying? So this is almost an element of false piety. It's an element of like a martyr complex, like this misunderstanding that this journey is about suffering. And this even goes back to romantic relationships, where it's a misunderstanding about love, where you think love means suffering and having to prove yourself worthy of love. And that's just your definition of it. That's not what love actually is. But the thing of why I feel this is coming out in a reading is because this is teetering on an unteachable spirit. And you guys already know about the unteachable spirit. The only person that can deliver you from it is you. Because the thing is, Taurus, spirit in 2022 is leaving us to our own devices. So if you come to a place to where you think you overstand something when you don't even understand, even a spiritual person who is aware, and anybody out there who's spiritually aware that discerns spirits, you could see a person doing something like this, and spirit does not call us to tell these people anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's of no use. Because what you believe is the truth. What you believe is your reality. So who is anyone else, even if it's a psychic, medium, whatever, a person who throws tarot cards, whatever, who are we to deny you of your reality? So it's one of those things where you see something like this in somebody's spirit and you just say, oh, poor little Tang Tang. Poor little Tang Tang. You're not going to feel compelled to say it in the comments. You're not going to feel compelled to say it to the person. You're just going to say, poor little Tang Tang. They're going to get it eventually. Poor thing. Poor little baby. Oh, little toot. Oh, my little toot. Right? And you're going to keep it moving because eventually you'll get it. But for this to be coming out in a reading like this, Taurus, this is a wake-up call, right? Because it's something that you've put a period at the end of the sentence and you don't even have, like, it's reading the first chapter of like a technical manual and thinking that you know everything, and you don't, you know? And I feel it's something where if you would learn more about this and like surrender that need, because this is the thing, this gets into a book that I wrote that's called The Christ Identity Crisis. That's exactly what this is that I'm seeing, my friend, where it's a person who has a sense of low self-esteem or low self-worth, You come into a spiritual background, whether it's Christianity or New Age, and you're able to do something, whether that's throwing some tarot cards or whatever, and people respond to it positively, and suddenly you're like, oh, I don't have to go through this regular journey. I must have just like healed and ascended somehow without doing the work. You know what I'm saying? But the downside of it is the misunderstanding of the Christ archetype, where you're thinking you have to continuously bear a cross. Like what it means to be woke, what it means to be spiritual means I'm supposed to suffer. And again, specifically with love relationships, it's this thought that of conditional love is the love there is, because it's kind of teetering into Old Testament God. Child, look, somebody I'm talking to got a Christian background if all this coming out. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. The reason why things haven't worked out for you to this point is because you're in the wrong vibrational energy. Now, this is the thing that I talked about. I can't remember if it was Sagittarius or if it was Cancer, but I mentioned about like the Antichrist spirit, because the North Node is in Taurus, the South Node is in Scorpio. In Scorpio's reading, I believe it was in November, I gave this whole message about the Antichrist, and not saying it like the Antichrist is coming back, but in the sense of it being like an archetype, right? This is what this is speaking to. I think it was Sagittarius that I said this to, but I talked about like the Likert scale of how it is that I look at like narcissism. On the left side, you have narcissism. On the right side, you have false piety. But false piety and narcissism are two sides of one coin. It's just one looks better and it's more palatable. And that's a person who is seemingly so self-sacrificial and cares so much about people and like raising money, like for organizations. I'm a philanthropist. Like I love humans. I'm an empath. Like I'm so sensitive. Like I can't deal with the energies. It's just so much. It's like a person who comes in this, and when that is actually a level or a stage in the awakening process, right? If you get validation at that stage, you will stay here thinking that that's what it's supposed to be. So if spirit gives you messages of how you're supposed to transcend past that, you're going to deny those because you have this misconception, a very superficial, stereotypical perception of what piety looks like, right? And it's supposed to look like Jesus. You bury your cross and you lay yourself out on the cross for the people, unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? But that's completely missing the point of what Jesus's whole message was, if that's your belief system. But even if you don't even believe like that, the Christ archetype exists in the story of King Arthur and probably every single mythological story you've ever heard in your life. Even all the way back to Medusa, child. You know what I'm saying? It's the same story, the story of Buddha, all of that, same thing. But the reason why you've never bore fruit in this particular thing, where even though you may have the view of people or, respect of people or feeling, a little bit of sense of something, what's happening underneath all of that and why things haven't been fruitful or growing, right? Is because you think that you overstand when you don't even understand, right? There's 7 levels of awakening. This is you getting to level 1 and thinking that's all there is. But I could tell you the truth, child Taurus, look, all this is coming out is not just because of y'all Taurus, it's because this is the North Node and we talking about the ascension of the whole collective. Come on, somebody. Anywho, but because I can already feel y'all's is a little longer, but I understand why, because just like how Aquarius is a collective message, anything with Taurus for this whole year is always going to be a message, this in Scorpio, that a word is going to come through. But the whole thing is, even if this is a limitation of your sensory consciousness or your humanness, the key is to transcend past this, because spirit is not going to allow you to bore fruit in something that isn't in alignment with you. You feel what I'm saying? So this is about transcending past these limitations, right? Because you're not going to know that there's 6 other levels of awakening until you get to level 2. And all you're going to know from level 1 is that there's a level 2. You ain't going to know that level 3 even exists. So especially when you get to the zealot stage, child, you really going to think that you know everything. How spirit work, how everybody work. You're going to think you can read everybody's spirit. You're going to think like like spirit is going to be telling you things about other people and all this other kind of stuff. It doesn't work like that. This is a discipline. And in order to truly understand how to operate in the spiritual thing, it takes a shit ton of humility. It's like all of the ego that's in you. If anyone validates you when you haven't done the work, when you haven't been drugged through the gutter, you know what I'm saying, and still do this stuff, even when you look at the world and see that a life in the world would be so much easier. It's like, if you haven't been through all of that, then dude, I'm telling you wholeheartedly, any little ounce of ego that you have will be eaten up and magnified to where you get to this point. This man looking at his shoestring, child, and don't even see he upside down. That's why I say, home dude think that he overstand, and sweetheart, you don't even understand, because you don't even know that you're upside down. You think you right side up with your little halo. You know what I'm saying? You're looking down at the little peasants. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't say this at all to make you feel any type of way, Taurus. This is a very similar message that of which came out for Sagittarius. It's, you're thinking that the way to your success is bearing this burden. But much like I think that was Libra that I did, it's like when you start to see that all of this that you're doing isn't bearing fruit, then you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? And it's because what you're aligning with isn't in alignment with you. You still have more to learn. So this is really speaking to a need to humble yourself, if that's making sense. So anywho, that's what I got for you, Taurus. I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended to continue to play out these cards. So if you're about that life, the links are in the description box below this video. If not, I love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump into your cards and see what message we have for you guys for the month of February, my friend. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see here. All right, first card out, Virgo, we have the moon in the reverse. This came out for Cancer, and that is also Cancer energy. So we're speaking to the dream realm and the subconscious. We're talking to shadow aspects, you know, the dark mother, Black Moon Lilith, all that good stuff. Anywho, next card that we have, whoa, this just came out for Taurus, your brethren and sisterin in Earth sign. And then we have the sun in the reverse. So we're speaking to half-hearted happiness here. So there's an unnecessary burden that my Virgos are carrying in reference to the only wand you are supposed to be carrying is one, and that is your own. That is your passion, your desire. You going in the direction of what's most fulfilling. And what I feel for my Virgos in the month of February, it's a great deal of dark distractions that are coming in. It's other people's problems, other people's opinions, other people's thoughts about who and how you should be, whether this is, you know, with the moon in reverse, speaking to your mother's expectations or family expectations, or just avoiding your shadow work. If you're doing that, go ahead and join the network and take our shadow work course, just saying. But the place that has led you to with the sun in the reverse is a half-hearted happiness. So the way that you deliver yourself from this is much like I said to Sagittarius. We're talking about descending to face those fears so that one may ascend and thus transcend this particular timeline. So you can align with the sun upright, which is your authentic truth, having battled and overcome your shadow, so you can marry or integrate the two aspects of yourself, that of which would be the sun as well as the moon. And we can end this particular cycle of false responsibility. I love how the back is just like so clear, but we can end this particular cycle of false responsibility, right? And unnecessary burdens that you're carrying, and marry the two very important aspects of yourself, being the sun and the moon, without being afraid of those shadow aspects of yourself, my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and pick an oracle for you all to give you some additional information. And we have trickery. I feel your mind's playing tricks on you. In the shadows, speaking of shadows, hoping to be undetected, veil, camouflage, secretive, illusions, and sneaky. So here's the thing. I don't necessarily feel this energy as relating to anyone else. I feel that it's really what people outside of you could be discerning about you. Do I think that you're, into trickery and all that? Absolutely not. I just think that there's parts of yourself that you may be ashamed of, or things that you're hiding about yourself, or you're trying to fake it till you make it, or whatever the case. And it's not really wanting to face these elements or these things. So you kind of keep these parts of you hidden and work on them secretively. But I feel because you're not showing up as the fullness of yourself, right? Other people are kind of picking up on that, right? And it's confusing because I feel in the background, you're working hella hard trying to get to where it is that you want to go. What I feel you guys are working towards is your star card. You know what I'm saying? I feel you guys are trying to work towards what happiness is for you, or figuring that out, but it's suffering in silence. And a lot of people don't know that you're suffering in silence. What they're just picking up from your energy is like, something's kind of off. I don't know what it is, but something here isn't like, I don't know. There's more to the story, and what they're showing me and what I'm picking up on are two different things, because it's almost like giving people a pre-packaged, collection of things of like, oh, this is who I am, this is how I am. But people are discerning that there's something more to the story. And I feel people are hungry and craving for that depth that you possess, Virgo. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fear related to that, because your perception of yourself inherently is like you're flawed. And that's why you're working so hard to try to fix things, not knowing that people would accept you as is. And I feel specifically, for whoever it is that resonates with this, I feel like it's not just a mom thing, because I do feel that heavily. I feel as though like whatever your mother has impressed on you, like I said, we talk about this in the shadow work course, whatever shadow aspects your mother has impressed upon you that in present day has become your inner critic, has been that driving force for you to be whatever it is that your definition of success is, right? It's a lot of that has nothing to do with you. For some of you, I also feel this has to do with the father figure with the sun card as well. So it's a lot of these voices from outside of you, like shadow aspects of both mother and father, that are contributing to your concept of what success or a good person is, right? And you're feverishly working towards that, to no avail. And it's almost like sacrificing your happiness in the present for some future date. And this is more or less a message to you in the month of February that you don't have to do that. This is just really talking about you guys facing yourself, integrating that, and really addressing what's going to make you happy, not anyone else. Because I feel you guys are very fixated on someone else's definition of what happiness is. And the month of February is really about you guys getting back to what happiness is for you. So if you like more information on this, I'm going to continue to play out these cards, both in your soul session as well as this particular reading, my friend. So if you're about that life, I'm going over to my network to do your extended. So follow me on over there. Those links are in the description box below this video. But if not, I still love your face. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump in and see what the cards have for you in the month of February. So let's go ahead and jump right in, my friend. I hope you have been doing well, Pisces. All right, cutting the deck in the middle. All right. Oh, interesting. We got two cards here. All right, first card out, we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. You guys have been waiting for something to germinate fruit for you well past its expiration date. This is something, of course, that you've put a lot of time, effort, and energy into. And I feel because you guys have invested so much into it, the thought is, where you sow, you should also reap. However, it's been some time since you guys have sown into this particular area, person, situation, circumstance, and now is the time to really go back to the drawing board and reassess the situation. Now, in the month of February is going to be a time for you guys to really sit back and really look at the big picture of what you've been doing, what you've invested your time into, and if it's really worth the effort, because I do feel strongly that this is waiting past the expiration date. Now, the two cards that came out for you guys, we have the Five of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Swords. So what this is really looking like to me with the Five of Pentacles, of course, I see it as kind of being on the outs, feeling a sense of shunned. I also look at this as emotional bankruptcy. So more or less, if I were to get straight to the point, my wonderful Pisces people, this very much relates to a King of Swords person. So this is someone who's either a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius person. And this can be a boss, this can be a romantic partner, but this is someone that I believe that you guys have been out in the cold for some time. This is a connection, relationship, business partnership, what have you, that lacks reciprocity, right? Specifically with an air sign person. And you guys have invested a great deal into it, but you've yet to see the fruit of the effort that you've put in. So it's more or less you guys sowed seeds in this particular, job, relationship, friendship, what have you, hoping for it to bear fruit. Some time has passed. You're still not seeing that fruit germinate. The message from Spirit to you guys this month is not to suffer in silence out in the cold, hoping to, reap the harvest from where you've sown it. Because if you're aware of the universal bank, if ever we, unknowingly invest into dead ground, it's like Spirit keeps a tally of that. So what you've invested in, you'll get payback, but it may not be from a barren situation. Like if the ground that you sowed into was a barren ground and it cannot bear fruit from your seeds, it's your effort is recognized by the ethereal realm. And if you go somewhere where those seeds can be returned to you, they will, right? But this month, I feel for you guys is going to be a very reflective month because, of course, we're coming into you guys' birthday season. So especially with this being your solar return, now is the most idyllic time to, start a new path, to set new goals, to make any major shifts and changes. So I really feel the month of February for you guys is going to be a time to really sit back and reevaluate where you've been sowing into and what you've been sowing into. But specifically, if this is speaking to a male figure, whether it be a boss or romantic partnership, you guys have felt very emotionally bankrupt or literally bankrupt, and you haven't seen a return on your investment. That within itself has been a sign that it's time to move to something different. Now, the next card that we have, speaking of which, we have Scorpio energy, and that's the Tower. So this is more or less something that's not in alignment with you. And with this crumbling or there being some sort of upset with this in the month of February, this is a sign that this partnership, relationship, job, what have you, has taken you very much out of alignment with what is best for you. So this Tower is a blessing in disguise in so many words. And I feel this was your warning sign. So depending on when it is that you watch this, if you're watching this at the beginning of February, and you already know that if there's a, air sign person, whether they're male or female, and this is a person you've been trying to get attention from, you've been trying to get recognition from, you've been trying to get them to pay back the money that you loaned them 5 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, this is your first warning sign that the Tower is coming. It's the fact that you're either literally bankrupt or emotionally bankrupt. And the fact that you're kind of waiting hand and foot for this person to acknowledge what it is that they owe you, or for this person to reciprocate. The key is to reevaluate this situation. If you see that no fruit has been bore in this time frame, that's your sign to walk away. But because, spirit is sovereign, if you still don't get the point, the Tower will come, crash, crumble down, lightning will come and all that, and it'll set you free from what it is that you are bound to, so that you can get back in alignment with your path. Because I feel what this has been a dark distraction. You know what I mean? And of course, I don't even know why I need to say this. It's almost speaking to a sense of a trauma bond, because when it comes to a trauma bond, the thing that keeps us bound to people is that trauma. Because when we talk about sowing and reaping, it's the fact that in some sense or another, we feel that this person broke us and what they owe us is our healing. So we hang around waiting for this person to heal what it is that they broke, but they're not going to, because that's the way that they set up. You know what I'm saying? This is a very heady person. I mean, I'm getting a lot of stuff from this. This is a very heady person. It's not a spiritual person. It's a person who teeter-totters on what would be atheist. They could literally be called to be so much more than they are, because I feel spirit attempts to speak to them, but they don't even recognize it as spirit. It's just like, something told me kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? But I feel in so many words, Pisces, the role that you guys played was to be a last ditch effort to save this person. Dog, this is about to get so deep. You guys coming into this person's life was a last ditch effort by the divine to save this person's soul. They totally missed the boat. So you're getting thrown out of the Tower for your own, best interest. You feel what I'm saying? To where you can move forward with your life, and this person is going to be left to their own devices and peril, misery, and woe. So the 5 of Pentacles you guys have existed in up to this point, this is what they're going to be existing in. So you guys are switching places. Oh, child, this is bad. With this person, dog, oh my God. Like, and I don't even think you're going to give a shit at this point, but, oh gosh, this is reminding me of a reading that I did in 2017, 2018. Your ex gets their karma and you get to watch. And I believe it was a Pisces reading. This is like that same scenario playing out all over again. It's like the roles are reversing, because the energy that we're in 2022 is those who are last will be first. Those who are first will be last. The reason why spirit is cutting you out of this person's life is because there's abundance and blessings that await you this year, just because in the divine timing, it's time for it, right? This person had the opportunity to enter into that for you. However, when it comes to money, accolades, what have you, this person has had it a lot better than you have up to this point. But see, child, You was sent as a little savior to this person. They didn't get it, child. You about to get thrown out the window of this here tower, Rapunzel. You feel what I'm saying? And everything that it is that they had, you'll be blessed with. Not saying that you're going to take their stuff, but it's your time to rise up. And this person could have risen with you, but because they didn't get it, it's like how your life has been for the last couple of years. Y'all are switching places. Sorry. 2 cards that came out for you guys. First one is Purge. Child. Releasing of repressed emotions. Look, if you need to cry, you need to let it out. You need to scream and shout. Go on and do that. But purge this out of your energy. It is time to move forward, or else spirit gonna purge you, babe. Next thing, we got roots, child. And it says foundations, deeply embedded core, cornerstone, long-serving, and lineage. This is speaking to the ancestors. The ancestors are speaking. This is both water sign as well as earth energy. I don't know if you have that in your chart, but it's really speaking to a sense of you needing to ground and purge all of this lower vibrational stuff out of your energy. But in case you missed the boat, my friend, you're going to be pushed out the tower and you're going to be brought back to ground zero. You're going to be laying right there in Gaia after you fall out that tower. And then you're going to come back to your damn senses. And you're going to realize how stagnated that you've been all this time, waiting on a bunch of nothing. I'm just saying, moving right along. Anywho, Pisces, that has been your February reading. I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended as well as your soul session, was a totally separate reading. You know what I'm saying? Because I was led to take those off of YouTube because, you know, it's 2022. You feel what I'm saying? Can't be casting pearls to swine. You know, moving right along. But this has been your reading, Pisces. I'm going over to my network and all my other membership platforms to do your extended. So if you'd like to hear more about this story, go ahead and follow me on over there. But if not, of course, I still love your face. You know what I'm saying? And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Aries. Welcome to, your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump into the cards and see what is going on with you guys for the month of February. We have one card that was just like, hey, pick me. And I was like, okay, boo, we going to do the thing. So let's see here. One more card. All right. First card out, Aries. We got Petty LaBelle in the reverse. My autofocus. Come on. I mean, you know, it's the 5 of Wands in the reverse. There it is. It's sort of kind of clear. Okay, I moved it. Come on, dagnabbit, son of a gun. I don't know why I get so like, it's my Gemini rising. Don't judge me. It's the 5 of Wands in the reverse. I call that the Petty LaBelle card. But what this is saying to me, my wonderful Aries, there's a tad bit of inner conflict. I feel any external conflict that you guys are seeing in the month of February, there's a need to recheck yourself and to understand that this conflict is coming from within. In this inner conflict within yourself, I feel specifically it has something to do with your personal power and the fact that you are not standing in it. And this being something that you guys have been ignoring, not saying you've been doing it on purpose, but this being something that you guys have been ignoring up to this point, it's starting to manifest to the without, because spirit is trying to drive home a message. And that message is to stand in your power. The reason why everyone around you is being ape shit and acting out of pocket and things of the sort is because you aren't standing in your personal power. So this is a call to do so. The next card that we have is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Ooh, child. So what this is saying to me, there's some sort of a disappointment. My Aries fire sign friend coming into the month of February, and not necessarily meaning between the 31st and the 1st, but I feel this more in the sense like, first week. So we could literally talk about the latter part of January into maybe about the 12th. It's something that you had a lot of hope in that didn't quite pan out the way that you wanted. It was a disappointment, whether it was, you asking someone on a date or putting yourself out there and someone saying, oh, I only see you as a friend, or applying for what you thought was your dream job and not quite getting it. And I feel that's caused an inner conflict in yourself because you're questioning your worth, your value. And this is just what I'm picking up intuitively, but it's more or less, it's a lot of work that you put into yourself. It's a lot of time that you put in to get to a certain level, right? Whether that's in your fitness, personal development, romantic life, what have you. And I feel you guys were under the impression that if I put in this time, energy, or effort, ooh, child, look, this is a whole message. Because look, I don't know if you got Libra in your chart, babe, or if it's just telling you to look at your opposite sign. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of what Libra's message is about is speaking to you. And this is really about divine timing. I spoke to Libra about how it was something that was happening externally. It was really a divine timing thing. They put a lot of time, energy, and effort into something. And because it didn't manifest in, the time frame that they thought that it would, or things were seeming to slow down. And it's like, I did, my checklist. I did everything I was supposed to do. It didn't matriculate in the time frame that I thought. Why do I need to say this? My apologies if you used to date somebody that was a Libra or they got Libra in their chart and you feel a way about me saying that, like the audacity, my bad. I'm sorry. I am just the messenger. Don't shoot me. Moving right along. But with that being your opposite sign, it's given insights to me in reference to this. So it's something that's a divine timing thing. So because something did not manifest the way that you thought, or you didn't get the job, or, the person just saw you as a friend, or whatever it is for you specifically, right? You've allowed that with this Five of Wands in the reverse to cause an inner conflict, because now you're questioning your own personal worth and value, and you're making yourself small and disempowering yourself. And the task is not to do that. It's just that the timing wasn't right. Now, I say that for Libra, but for you guys, it doesn't necessarily, it does fall into a timing thing, but it's this particular opportunity that you thought was the end all be all. It wasn't spirit's end all be all. So meaning that you thought this was the best that ever was, and you don't see at the present moment from your current vantage point that there's more for you. So the thing is that this was a blessing in disguise. Your rejection was your protection, proverbially speaking. So the worst possible thing you could do at present is to go within yourself and to be in this whole going back and forth, like, self-deprecating kind of energy, because it's taking you out of alignment. This was an is not is paradigm switch, right? So with you internalizing and going within, you feel what I'm saying? And not seeing this as, oh, if I didn't get it, that just means that it wasn't for me and something is better. Instead of you automatically aligning with that, you're falling into the is not. And the is not is really a statement of the is to come, right? So don't fall for this dark distraction. The next card that we have for you guys is the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Absolutely, my friend. So here's the thing. If you guys fall for this okie doke, this is the vibrational energy that you're going to be sending out to the universe, and you don't want that. That is Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. That's low self-esteem, not good enough, being jealous of other people, hoarding your resources and things of the sort, being all bitter and looking at people side-eyed. If this has something to do with philanthropy or humanitarianism, it's almost like a perspective shift in the sense of, I was doing this from the pureness of my heart, and because nobody respected, then now I'm just going to start doing stuff for the money. Let me get the bag and all this other kind of stuff. So this is a forewarning for my Aries collective. You don't want to fall into that. I'm telling you wholeheartedly, my friend, whatever this is that you guys are coping with, whether it's a romantic type of thing, or it's like, you know, you thought this was your dream job, you really wanted to work at Google, whatever the point may be. The whole thing with this is something that was not for you, because at your present level of consciousness, this was the best, but there's another level of consciousness you're not yet aware of. And I think in the future, when you look back at this moment, you'll think, damn, I am so glad I didn't get that job. Or I'm so glad that that person only saw me as a friend. Because if I would have went that route, I wouldn't be where it is that I am now, you know? But what this is saying to me is why this triggered you so much is because how, you know, all this is working out for your favor. Even if you have gone within and you're kind of beating yourself up a little bit, or there's some inner conflict going on, it's just making you aware of a trigger, something that's happening inside of you, or a wound that you had that you weren't aware of. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. It's like, yeah, this was disappointing, but it was a trigger to make you go within to see something in you that was still unhealed. But the thing you don't want to do, my wonderful cardinal fire sign, right? Because y'all are the trailblazers. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get caught up in the stagnancy of this, because the worst queen in the reverse to be is the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, because that's a hella freaking stagnant energy. And it's almost like the shadow aspects of a Taurus, right? Which is the worst. Okay. As a Taurus, Aries, listen to your friend Marlo. The absolute worst shadow aspect with Taurus being a feminine sign, like to be in the shadow aspects of Taurus, my God, save us all. Right? That's not something you want to be in, because it's something very hard to get out of. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to go within yourself. Don't allow this to be a dark distraction for you and to cause you to get into stagnancy, because the fact that the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse came out and not the Queen of Wands in the reverse, you know, where you dealing with just a little manipulation, you know what I'm saying? Or the Queen of Swords in the reverse, where, you know, you're dealing with some more manipulation that's, you know, fueled by bitterness and resentment. That's like, speaking of frequencies, that's still pretty light. You know what I'm saying? Or even the Queen of, I don't know why I wanted to say it's the Queen of Cups, but for some reason I wanted to say the Queen of Water. I don't know if you have a deck that has the Queen of Water in it for some reason. I don't know. I felt compelled to say that. But like with the Queen of Cups in the reverse, that's just melancholy, self-loathing, emotional suppression, and things of the sort. You know what I'm saying? But these are all things, the vibrational frequencies of, you know, the mental body, or, you know, the etheric body. You know what I'm saying? Or the emotional body. These are frequencies that can easily be broken up. But see, child, when you get into earth, child, when you start messing with this more dense energy, it be taking some time to break that up big. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that would take you out of alignment with your destiny. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm looking at this as is, Aries, whoever you are, whatever it is that you do, I can tell you now, child, you got a call on your life. I'm just saying. There's something that you're supposed to do this year that is going to impact a great deal of people. It's what it is that you're bringing to the table, whether it's, you know, at the company that you're trying to work at, with your gifts, a business you're starting, whatever the case. And I'm hearing for some of y'all got scammed out of money somehow. I don't know what that is. But anyway, the whole thing is that there's a high call on your life in the year of 2022. So in order to silence a light like you, it has to be something that's going to hit you in your gut. Why this message is coming out is it's telling you not to fall for the okie doke. This is delayed, not denied, my friend. I'm telling you, because y'all have the power to manifest anything. Because of course, you know, Aries is aligned with the magician. Whatever it is that you say, alchemist, will be. You feel what I'm saying? So if you guys get caught into this energy with this dark distraction they got going on, you will manifest your own demise. And this is a forewarning to not do that. So I'm going to pull some oracles for you guys to give you some additional insights into this energy. Ooh, we got 2 cords. First one, ooh, child, we have pressure. Why am I I mean, I'm saying, why am I hearing it? I feel like this is a trigger to it, but I mean, it's a lot of songs this could have been. But the song that I'm hearing is Andy Mineo, and the song is literally called Pressure. So I don't know, maybe Google that, read the lyrics or something, but it says feeling weighed down emotionally or mentally burdened, hashtag Patti LaBelle in the reverse, duties, obligations, accountability, and responsibility. So I feel for some of you, there may be people that you're responsible for, and there's a lot riding on your success. And I feel that's why your Achilles heel is being attacked like that, because FYI, in 2022, Taurus, North Node, Scorpio, South Node, all of our Achilles heels are being attacked. Hashtag hooded figure, moving right along. Then we have self-actualization. Come on with it. If you don't know about my shadow work course on the network, go ahead and sign up for it, because this is a little something that we talked about this week in session 4 with like resistance and all this other kind of stuff. We literally talked about self-actualization and Maslow's hierarchy of needs and things of the sort. But anywho, this says state of positive growth that gives life. This is level 6 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, by the way. Moving right along, that gives life form and meaning. Child, that's birthing in the form. I'm trying to tell you. Development of own unique spirituality. Hallelujah. Knowing one's true self and potential and actively embodying its self-fulfillment. Look, Aries, I'm trying to tell you, if you don't know, now you know. You are a change agent. The reason why you take on all of this pressure, I saw the same thing with the sign that was before you, that of which was Pisces, as well as Taurus. I think I saw that with too, or was it Virgo and Taurus? It was one of them. But it was a false sense of responsibility. The reason why you feel this need to bear burdens of others is because you are a change agent and a leader. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to create the path in which other people walk. The proper name for this, if we want to put it in the terminology of spiritual gifts, you are a way shower. And that's because first you found the way, and now you go back and you show others the way. Way shower. You feel what I'm saying? But in order for you to show the way for anyone, you have to first find it for yourself. And the way that you find it for yourself is by self-actualizing, which means you need to transcend the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which means you create your very own religion of one. It's not about being a cult leader and making other people bow down to your ideologies and wills and things of the sort. It's that your life becomes your message. The sermon that you preach to everyone is the fact that you found peace and happiness and contentment within your own life and your own path. And people will see you living that way, free of the chains, and will ask you, my friend, how did you do that? And you'll say, you know what? I'll show you the way. Way shower, just saying, in case anybody was out there was wondering what their spiritual gift was. But anywho, like I was saying, the best way to put a way shower in bondage is with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Is for you to lose hope because of a disappointment, go within yourself and put out that light. But we're not going to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? The only pressure that you feel is you being called to align with your calling, right? But that's not something you can ever miss, my friend. Because like I said, to some other signs, spirit is sovereign, baby. You're taken care of. You're straight, my friend. But moving right along, that has been your reading for February, Aries. I love your face. Go into my network to do you guys extended, where we're going to continue to play out these energies, my friend. And you guys, soul sessions are also over there. And we're going to continue to play out this scenario on my network, as well as the other platforms that I'm on. The links to that are in the description box below this video. So if you about that life, go ahead on and follow me over there. If you're interested in the shadow work course, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your face. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards to see what messages Spirit has for you guys in the month of February. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, again, you guys are split down the middle. That's interesting. If you notice, I don't know if you're one of those like super dope subbies that's like, you know, cleaning your house or cooking dinner or something, and you're just listening to this whole thing. But if you noticed, each sign has been different of how it is I'm supposed to pick the cards. It's fascinating. So anywho, first card for my Cappies. Ooh, look at that. We have the High Priestess. That's Pisces energy. Some people say Cancerian. But whatever the case, it's speaking to the intuitive faculties and the Zen Buddhist principle of doing nothing and accomplishing everything. It is speaking to light workers. Don't know why this is going this route, but hey, I'm just a messenger, so I'm just saying what I hear. It's speaking to light workers, whether this is yourself or someone that you know, but it's a person who sits in their power and they radiate that of which that they are. You know what I'm saying? Next card that we have is the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Ooh, child, that's some things, okay? I could tell you from experience of all of the psychics that I know in real life, Capricorn. I'm just saying, you know, whether this is you or somebody that you know, there is some elements here, two things of elector of self-love, right? Where it could be those of you Capricorns who may be in a position to where you're doing some sort of spiritual work. The first thing that I'm hearing specifically is Reiki practitioner, Reiki master teacher. I mean, hell, this could be anything. This could be a therapist. It can be a counselor. It could be a life coach. It could be a spiritual teacher, tarot reader, psychic, medium, anything that's in that realm of helping people to where it's some sense or another, where whether you're aware of it or not, a lot of the wisdom, because of course the High Priestess speaks to Mother Wisdom. These readings have come out so weird. I'm just saying what I hear, but this speaks to Mother Wisdom. Those of you who have a background in Christianity, you know who Mother Wisdom is. They talked about it in the Old Testament. I believe it was David, if I'm not mistaken. But this is speaking to the well thereof of wisdom. So people who give channeled messages and things of the sort, it's everyone who channels from spirit gets it from this same source. So this is either speaking to yourself or someone that you know that has gifts such as this. However, the Knight of Pentacles in comparison, I'm just saying, if this is someone like, if the High Priestess is representative of Capricorn, this Knight of Cups in the reverse is speaking to two things. It's either speaking to someone in the physical form, which is someone who's emotionally unavailable, someone who does not love themselves, and what it is that they're drawn to in you is elements of yourself where this is true, because people who are in helping professions have a tendency to be attracted to people who are traumatized, people who have addiction issues, people who are emotionally unavailable. And it's an inability to differentiate between how you help people out in the world, like in the collective, from your romantic partners, right? So something I can tell you as a person who's a fellow light worker, fellow healer, our call is not necessarily to heal our bloodline in the sense of your relatives that are still alive. I mean, your ancestors got their little pom-poms and they cheering for you and everything. You know what I'm saying? But the deliverance they're looking for from you does not come from the people around you who are alive. It's the fact that you're their only gateway to, you know, the world. They're seeing through your eyes. So this could be someone who's in a healing profession or someone who's just become spiritually aware. And it's a misconception that you're supposed to save people who are in your family that are still in bodies. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it is. When we talk about y'all coming in as change agents and things, star seeds, light workers, empaths, all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about transcending a bloodline, it's not through what you're doing directly, it's what you're doing energetically. So I feel in some sense or another, there's a misunderstanding with that that's leading to a great deal of disappointment, because it's making you, and this is the theme for a lot of signs, it's something that's making you question your validity, what you do, things of the sort, because people aren't receiving it, and it's misunderstanding how this whole spiritual thing works. Granted, this is a major arcana that's challenging a minor arcana. It's not for you to be the one who's like, oh, hey, you should go to therapy. Like, nah, that has to be in and of their own volition. Now, on the other side of this, people who have a tendency to have callings such as this, especially if your birth number, meaning like your life path number in numerology, if that reduces to a number 2, then this is, your birth card speaking over your life and things of the sort. You know what I'm saying? For people like that, it's like you have a tendency to attract people like this who don't love themselves. And this is going to be a real raw, hard truth. But the reason why you attract people, and I said this to, it was either Aquarius or Sagittarius, I can't remember. But the reason why you attract people like this is because you yourself, I believe it was in Sagittarius's soul session or the Truth Be Told reading, it was one of them. But I was saying pretty much the reason why you attract people who are emotionally unavailable is because you yourself are emotionally unavailable, because you fear intimacy, you fear a true connection. That is very hard for people to hear. I literally said in Sag's reading, you can be pissed off and not like me. I don't give a shit. Unsubscribe. I really don't care because it's the truth, whether you realize it now or later. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is that there's a fear of intimacy that one possesses. So you constantly magnetize people to you who can't give you that intimacy because for whatever reason, whether it's childhood or past relationship experiences, your attempts at being open-hearted and vulnerable, ended unsuccessfully. Right? So you shifted and altered yourself. You closed off your heart in a sense of self-protection. So because you're not emotionally available, because you're not willing to take the chance on the shit people out there in the world, you've closed yourself off. The misconception you have, that of which is a dark distraction, is the thought that you think because, inherently I'm a good person. Right? So it's like, because I have a good heart and I'm not malicious, I'm not a narcissist, it's like I can totally close off my heart, and now I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to make people prove themselves to me, right? And when a person proves themselves worthy, that they're not a shit person that's trying to take advantage of me because I'm withholding, I'm not giving anything, right? Then you're going to open up your heart to that person. Sad reality of how this whole, energetic magnetism, law of attraction kind of thing works is whatever energy signature you're standing in, you can only attract that vibrational frequency. So the true vibrational frequency of a person who guards their heart is a person who's emotionally unavailable. That's just what it is. If you lose your spouse, if you are a widow, right, you're going to be emotionally unavailable because you're not willing to let another person into your life. You're not open to love another person because you're grieving the loss of your spouse. That doesn't mean emotional availability is a negative thing, because we all find ourselves there. When you're in school, you're emotionally unavailable. When you're trying to buy your first home, you're emotionally unavailable. When you're on a spiritual journey, you're emotionally unavailable. When you're in therapy, you are emotionally unavailable. You feel what I'm saying? But it's almost a misconstrue of these two energies where it's meshing two things that don't go together. Whoever this is that I'm speaking to, you have a call to align with the high priestess energy, meaning that it's a level of wisdom that you're supposed to be communicating with humanity, because you have a natural ability to tap into the arcana or the book of the dead, the book of secrets, whatever it is that you want to call it, the Torah, whatever it is that you want to call it be. But you have a natural ability to tap into that overflowing, realm of wisdom. So a lot of you are in different places in your life, whether you're in your awakening, you're healing from something, you've lost someone, what have you, or you've just been hurt in the past. But the same energy signature that you keep drawing to you is the same energy signature that you are operating in. That is extremely hard for someone to accept, because no person who sees themselves as the high priestess, psychic tarot reader, life coach, therapist, what I'm saying, whatever the case, preacher, teacher, you don't want to believe that this is what exists in between. But that is the reason why we call this process finding the Judas in the mirror. You feel what I'm saying? The Knight of Cups speaks to a lack thereof of self-love, a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-care, right? It's a person that's constantly looking for the missing piece of them in other people, and you're never going to find that. So if you feel that the people that you've been drawing to you meet the energy signature of this, there's a reason for that, because there's something that spirit has been trying to tell you intuitively, my psychic light worker star seed friend, that you haven't been getting. You feel what I'm saying? And being a Capricorn, you guys are very into strategy and methods and things of the sort. You know what I'm saying? All these planets that we got that's in Capricorn, you know what I'm saying? Like Mercury went retrograde in Aquarius, but that daddy's shifting into Capricorn on the 25th of January. It's a redo, because there's a need to be a strategy. There's a need to be an end goal. You feel what I'm saying? So specifically for those of you who are in the Capricorn Collective, and when I'm recording this, is in Capricorn season, right? Which means this is you guys' birthday season. It's the time of your solar return, which is a time, numerologically speaking, for you guys to make an epic shift, because you have two energies that are in support of you with another burst that's coming in March, right? Especially with the North Node and the South Node that we're in. So now is the time for you to see yourself and those people that are around you. It's not happenstance that these people are coming into your life. It's not accidental. So you have to use the world as your mirror of seeing in what ways you see yourself in these other people. And that's truly what your deliverance is, because I feel what has been you operating in half light, or, you know, lessening your gifts to where you may feel your intuitive gifts are kind of hit or miss, is because this is something that needs to be addressed, because we're still in the time of shadow work. Because even though Venus goes direct on the 19th of January, and this is February, it's the fact that she's in post retro shade until the 1st of March. So this is still an opportune time to do these things. Now, the next card that we have, here we go, child, is the 10 of Swords upright. You know what I'm saying? So that means that there's a cycle. When I look at the 10 of Swords, I see it as a mindset. It's a mindset that's not as bad as a tower to where it has become a stronghold, meaning that you're erecting monuments in your life in homage to this particular thing. This is something that needs to be recognized. Your own intuitive gifts and connection to spirit is inexcusable at this point, because not making one gift better than the other, or one clair better than the other. But those of you who are called, like I said, to Aries, those of you who are called to be wayshowers, those of you who identify as light workers or star seeds, you know what I'm saying? Those of you who would consider yourself a spiritual teacher, right? Those of you who are tapping into the Akashic record and things of the sort, you're held to a higher regard, because to whom much is given, much is required. So if you're failing at that, and your main weak point being your own self-worth and self-value, you're going to continuously meet that, because spirit is trying to send a message home. Because you have to, if you're going to teach people how to live their life, you need to be about what you're speaking about. Other than that, you become a hypocrite. And with the power that you have, and if we just stuck with the term, because I know starseed is kind of like an outlier, but if we were literally to stick with light worker, if you consider yourself a light worker, you cannot be a worker of the light unless you live in the light. Oh, child, look, we hearing a whole song right now. Kai Kai. Does the light just disguise you, or can you be found in it? You feel what I'm saying? So this is the whole thing. Are you hiding behind a facade of what it is that everyone sees you to be? Because as a light worker, you have the power to do it. No one, unless they're another light worker. I mean, we could see through each other, you know what I'm saying? But anybody who's not another light worker, they couldn't. I mean, star seeds could, but that's neither here nor there. But a person who's an empath couldn't see through a light worker. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about just giving yourself this terminology, because people who are really, truly light workers, we don't refer to ourselves as that. We will use that in a sense for people to understand, but it's not going around like, oh my gosh, I'm a light worker, I'm a starseed. We don't do that, because that's a level of awakening, and you transcend that too. And then all of these titles just become irrelevant, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, if you're wherever you are right now, whether you identify yourself this is or not, it's not saying that's a negative thing. It's just that that's a level to transcend. But if you're called to be a messenger and a teacher to people, if you're supposed to be quenching that everlasting thirst that humans have for the everlasting waters, the living waters, we have to deal with stuff like this that exists in us. And the easiest way, like I told you guys in Motherfuck Twin Flames, the easiest way for spirit to touch you is through romantic relationships, because that's what every human wants, because everyone is trying to replicate that God-shaped hole in your heart. You're trying to find that agape love that you missed from your creator, that you have to rediscover here by remembering who you are really. And the closest way to replicate that is in a romantic relationship. So that's why you keep meeting the same person in a different body with the same exact problems. And it's time for you to die to that. You feel what I'm saying? Because now is the time. It's time for you to step into your calling. And all of this stuff that you've been dealing with, this stuff has been coming up because it's time to lay that to rest. It's time to die to that. 2022 is not a patty cake year. It's like all that little childish stuff. You know, when I was a child, I did childish things. When I was a man, I put childish things away. Man or woman, I'm quoting scripture. I'm just saying. So it's time to put childish things away, especially this year, because there's literally no, like how we've gotten away with proverbial murder for the last couple of years. A lot of us since 2017, that's not going to fly this year. Everyone is going to see the exact the exact effect of their original cause. You're going to see the consequences of all of your actions in 2022, and you would want to fix it now because child was coming in 2023. Woo! If you don't get it together this year, please listen to your friend Marlo. If you don't do nothing else this year, please get into alignment, because the worst year you would ever want to be out of alignment is in that 7th year of 2023, because that year is not going to be fun for people who have missed it. You feel what I'm saying? So anywho, the card that we have, we talking about family. Ooh, that's your opposite sign. Look at what's in your 4th house, Capricorn. Of course, Cancer is you guys' opposite sign specifically. I don't know if you'd be watching this if you just that woke to where, you know, your North Node is in, you know, Capricorn, your South Node is Cancer, your North Node is Cancer, and your South Node is in Capricorn. But we have family, relatives, parents, siblings, spouse, and children. This is why we talk about this whole transcending of bloodlines and things. The whole thing is, dude, your opposite sign, your shadow aspect is Cancerian energy. So something that draws you guys into marriage partners is very Piscean. The thing that, because y'all aren't a duality sign, because that's a natural thing for duality signs like Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. You guys are not a duality sign, but it's your opposite sign, your shadow aspect of Cancer, where your worth and value has been centralized, like I hate to say it like this, but I'm just going to say it. Your unwoke sense of value centralizes around family. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel that's your Achilles heel. That's what always attacks you. So this would be like a Capricorn woman where you feel unfulfilled if you don't have a partner, but you keep meeting people like this that keep taking you off course with your purpose. But it's not about don't date at all. It's about you dealing with whatever it is that's drawing these people in. You feel what I'm saying? Or child, look, y'all just need to take the shadow work course because this thing got too long. I'm talking too much. I'm just saying this is why I did this course. Child, look, they got so much with this. This is talking about your mama and your daddy. It's talking about romantic partners. It's talking about cleansing your bloodline, your ancestors, all this stuff. Child, look, we ain't got time for this. This is YouTube. Anywho, I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended where we're going to get into this deeper. You know what I'm saying? Your soul session is over there as well. So if you about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, that is totally cool. I still love your face. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friend. You or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards to see what messages that Spirit has for you guys in the month of February, my friend. I'm already expecting this to be interesting for the simple fact that Taurus was very interesting. Because, this one kind of wanted to come out too, because, the North Node is now in Taurus and the South Node is in Scorpio. So let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, your first card out. Interesting. We have the 7 of Cups. So that's a little bit of confusion. Ooh, child. Look, okay. This deck, I just got it. And it is a gift from one of my longtime members, Anna. I love you, girl. But legit, dude, I can understand why she was like, this is the deck for you. I get it. I love gold foil because gold is my favorite color. I know it's an element, but it's still my favorite color. But with this child, look, I need y'all to see this crocodile on here. Those of you who have been with me for some time, especially those of you who are on my network, or those of you who religiously watch my extendeds, y'all already know about my background in demonology and my shitty autocorrect. Okay, thank you. I had to talk about you. My shitty autocorrect, but you know how I talk about that unteachable spirit and the demon of Leviathan, something that describes Leviathan as the crocodile. If you want to look biblically, boo, it would be on the 6th day of creation is when, God created Leviathan and all those good things. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, but with this being the 7 of Cups and even looking at this mass, this is really speaking to attachment and a false identity. And this is speaking to an unteachable spirit. And Scorpio, those of you who've been with me since 2021, I believe it was in October or November. I believe it was November. That I did you guys soul session and I talked about the whole Antichrist spirit. It was a whole ordeal. It was hilarious, terrifying in the reverse and how I'll never see it the same, blah, blah, blah. But an unteachable spirit, this goes back to exactly the card that fell in the position here for Taurus, right? So this is a collective message here where it was the Hanged Man in the reverse. And it was coming to a place of judgment where you think that you overstand a situation, but you don't even understand it. And not saying that in a negative sense. I feel this for you guys more as confusion, but it's more or less being in a position to where you don't trust anyone to speak into your life. Like you're in a confused state where you have to make a decision, but you don't trust anyone outside of yourself to help you make this decision. But I feel with this, there are people around you who can add to that. But this also says to me there's a level of hard-heartedness because the magnetizing frequency that draws in Leviathan, which is the only proverbial demon. I mean, not proverbial is really a demon because demons are mindsets and strongholds in the mind, #Tower, which is also the card that aligns with Scorpio aside from the death card, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is something that only you can deliver yourself from because you have to see how it is that you come in alignment with yourself. And just like the skull in the card, it's something that you have to die to, an old way of being. Because just like that saying, when they say like remove the scales from your eyes, it's not talking about scales like Libra scales. It's talking about crocodile or alligator scales. Because those of us who are from the Bahia, like myself, know that there's only one way to kill an alligator, and it's to shoot them in their third eye. If you shoot an alligator anywhere else, you can't kill them. They'll still stay alive because their armor is that good. And it's very much the same. So the only way that you can deliver yourself or anyone else, like no one else can deliver you from it, because can't nobody give you intuitive advice because you're just going to be like, fuck that bitch, I'm unsubscribing type of deal. She don't know what she talking about. And she talking about herself. Right? So the only way that you can be delivered from this is when you receive inspiration from spirit. So all of the confusion that you see when you look out into the world is a sign that you need to go within, because the only person that can give you an answer is divine revelation from spirit, which is why how you die, aka transition into another form or ascend to a higher state of being, is through your third eye, which means intuitively. So that's the place that you guys are in now. So if it's any challenge that you guys are having in the month of February, You're not really knowing how to move forward. It's because you have become so attuned with the false identity, right? That the only way that you can see clear is not looking without, it's looking within. So it's not saying that everyone is under the influence of the Leviathan demon, but I mean, you teeter-totter in there. And I mean, rightfully so, because it's not just for Scorpios, for the entire collective, because you guys are in the South Node. And like I've been telling every sign prior to you guys, in order for you to get anything that you want or to align with your highest truth, you have to face your demon, your shadow, your greatest fear, in order for that to be the toll that you pay to ascend to that higher state of being. So all of the good, very 3D stuff that Taurus got going on, you have to face your shadow or your greatest fear first. Read Dante's Inferno or take the shadow work course, one or the other. Moving right along. Next card, we have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. This is the same card that just came out for not for Aries, for Capricorn. This was their card over here. So this is the thing. This is a mindset that's supposed to be dying, my wonderful Scorpios, but it's something that you're not letting go. It's beating a dead horse. So clarity is here. The energy signature is here in the month of February for you guys to end a cycle, a chapter, and I'm gonna clearly say it is a stronghold at this point with the 10 of Swords being here, and it's a mindset. I feel what would lead this into being the Tower is if past the midpoint of this month, when you've had so many signs, symbols, and synchronicities that are telling you the reason why you can't see how to tread forward is because it's a sign that you're on the wrong path. You're not supposed to intuit how to move forward because you're not in the right path for yourself. So it's like needing to die to this old way of being. And I feel this is something that's old. Once upon a time, literally months ago, maybe even a year ago, you got off track. You know what I'm saying? For some of you, this is 10 months ago. For some of you, this is 10 years ago. You literally got off track, right? It's something that you started following that you weren't necessarily called to. But because you've put so much time, energy, and effort into this thing, even despite the dreams you've been getting that have been forewarning you, the anxiety that you felt, the insomnia that you felt, all of the uneasiness that you felt, you ignored all of this, calling it fear of like, oh, I'm being pushed out of my comfort zone, whatever. But you were trudging yourself deeper and deeper into this thing when all of those were warning signs to leave. But now you're in so deep, it's too hard to fathom walking away. And for all it is that you've sown into this, you want to reap your harvest in this particular situation, but it's dead. It's been long since dead. This is very much like the Cancer full moon energy. This is something that should have been released on the 17th, 18th of January, because it's something that doesn't feel like home. It's something that's not in alignment with you. And it's something that needs to be let go of, right? But I think there's a fear that's associated with doing such of a thing. But this is something that's coming up yet again to remind you that the way that you're operating, this is not who you are. This isn't the contract that you signed to come here. This isn't who you were designed to be, but it's a refusal to let this go. And your life has been like a broken record, same thing over and over again, because this is something that needs to be released. And it has a lot to do with this unteachable spirit, right? And like I said, go back and watch Taurus if need be. It's you thinking that you overstand something that you don't even understand. So you're making a judgment on something and feeling like, the martyr complex, peril, misery, and woe. I'm supposed to suffer long suffering, completely misinterpreting the scripture in Corinthians, right? It's like, oh, love suffers long. And that being an explanation as to why it is that you're self-deprecating. But this is a call telling you this isn't the case. The reason why you can't see clear, because you can't see clear a path that you're not supposed to be on. So this has nothing to do with divine timing. It's the fact that you're surrounded by something that is death, right? And death, period, not death semicolon, meaning death, AKA transition. This is literally just like rotting corpse that is around you and on your back. Just saying. Moving right along. Next two cards you guys have. Ooh, child, I know you're lying to me. Everything it is that your friend Marlo just said. We have the 2 of Cups in the reverse, and then we have the High Priestess in the reverse, which means not listening to your intuition, AKA only way to kill a crocodile or an alligator is through the third eye. everything it is that I've said to you are things that are accessible through your inner wisdom, but you're not listening and you're aligning with something that's literally poisonous to you, that's detrimental, that's literally death to you. And mind you, Scorpio, I am a Taurus. You are my opposite sign. I feel you on all of the dark stuff, totally into all of that. Most people don't think that because I'm a Taurus, but all of us Tauruses, we have a dark side and people don't know. And, you know, I like you on, you know, the whole emo type of thing. Like that's our stilo. No one ever thinks that, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we vibe. However, it's like, we're like yin and yang, Scorpio. Just like if you think about the yin and yang sign, there's a seed of light in the dark and a seed of dark in the light. That would be the perfect explanation of the North Node and South Node for this year, as well as these Taurus Scorpio polarity. Shout out to the shadow work course, because there's a whole section on that, just throwing that out there, but that's neither here nor there. But we have to understand each other in order for us to transcend this timeline. And I feel with you guys, Scorpio, you are the abyss. And that's freaking beautiful. But the problem is here, and this is going to go over a couple of people's heads, but the abyss, the is not, that is a thing that's very much in alignment with spirit. And there, it's not a judgmental type of thing. Dark, black, any of that, that's not evil. It's not bad. Those are judgments that souls that are in bodies that forgot that they were souls and bodies give judgments to these things. But it just simply is, just like the light isn't good and holy and pure. It's just a vibrational frequency. But the only thing that has given the dark and the light a personification as good and evil is because humans did that. So the same to say, in the Bible, God created Leviathan on the 6th day. If Leviathan is the Antichrist spirit, if it's the unteachable spirit, the King Kong demon that no one can deliver you from but yourself, God created it. That totally upsets the apple cart, does it not? If you can't think in the gray area of what Christ consciousness is all about, that's what true overstanding is. It's understanding that the dark, what we call evil, was personified by humanity. Every story that's ever been written about it has been written by a human who personified the abyss or the darkness, which is why Friedrich Nietzsche said, when you peer into the abyss, it also peers into you, meaning that everything that exists in you is what you project onto it and thus write stories about and personify, right? Because the polarity of is not and is have to exist in order for the physical realm to exist. Because spirit is the ultimate is not. Spirit is nothing, no one. It's the ultimate is not. The physical realm is the is. All of the levels, all the D's that you know about, that's the is. You feel what I'm saying? The only thing that spirit is the ever-present observer. It's neither here nor there, right? So the personification that's given to dark as evil, that's all human categorization. But the hearts of humanity are already a polar deviation from the is not. So the is, the divine masculine, if you will. So I'm not canceled, so people don't think I'm talking about dudes. But the divine masculine, right? The world of form, 3D, that's the polar opposite to what actually is, but is classified as the is not. So to say that the is not or darkness or the polarity of quote unquote light, to say that that's evil is blasphemous, because that's to say that all that is evil. You feel what I'm saying? But humanity needs a projection to blame someone else for their own faultiness, as Adam did in the garden. It's this woman you gave me. It's always someone else's fault. So here's the thing, Scorpio. If anyone could be the change agent to all of the collective, it's you. Literally. That's the reason why in 2022, in a 6-year balance, we're going into the Taurus Scorpio polarity. 2 feminine polarities. The feminine is the is not. You feel what I'm saying? So us shifting into that from a time of Gemini and Sag, which are masculine polarities, right? It's bringing people into a new age. It's not about us going backwards into the age of the matriarchy. It's about transcending to create something that's entirely new. But in order to do so, you have to listen to your truth, both on a human level as well as a spiritual level. Don't allow this world to define you for who and what you are. And I said this to another sign. I think it was Libra. And for those of you who are Libra Scorpio cusps, I talked to Libra about trying to fit into a box and realizing that you never fit into one. You're not supposed to. When you're a trailblazer, you're not going to fit into a neat little box that humans need as a schematic. You know what I'm saying? As a stereotype to make them feel safe. You're supposed to come fuck some shit up this year, Scorpio. But it's the limitations of everyone around you that has made you settle for less than what it is that you deserve. It's why you're wearing a fucking mask. Why the beautiful abyss, the beautiful depth that you possess, you've been covering it up and only giving people about 10% of it because people can't handle you. But it's not understanding the people that can't handle you just aren't on your level, and that doesn't make anything about you wrong. So just because people that you've encountered in your life couldn't understand the breadth of your depth, that doesn't mean that something is wrong. It doesn't mean that you need to come out of alignment with yourself and reject yourself. It's time for you to have your coming out party, because literally you guys being the South Node, y'all are the salvation of the collective this year. I'm just saying, babe. I'm just saying. I'm going to go ahead and get this up out of this 5D and pull a little oracle for y'all before we move along. I knew y'all was going to be long, child. Look, I'm trying to tell you. I'm just saying. Pay attention to your dreams, Scorpio. If you want to know more about this and you know that you're being called to a higher state of being, just join my network. It's $4. Jesus Christ in America. It's not that serious. Anyone who knows me already knows this ain't the thing about shmoney. It's the thing about finding your tribe, dog. And it pains me at the fact that there's so many people out here that are doing fuck shit, that when people see light staring them in the face, that they don't get it. But that's neither here nor there. That's not my job to do. I'm just here to do my job. Moving right along. The card you guys have is longevity, little turtle. Why is this making me think about Lori Harvey and the dude that was in Black Panther? He calls her his little turtle. That's so cute. It says pacing oneself, long haul, slow and steady, going the distance, stability, strength, courage. Got some Leo energy up in here. Staying the course, on a plan of action, resolve, and movement forward. Here is the thing, Scorpio. What I felt with you guys that I felt with Libra. You've been doing so much for some time. Is losing hope. It's not losing hope. It's the fact that this vibrational energy needs to go before you move forward. Like this has to be let go of, because this is so much entrenched in the is not that it will become a block to your energy. It's like, this is a call for transcendence. This is a full-on transformation. Like Scorpio is all about the phoenix rising from the ashes. If you notice in the world card, right? How I say that's related to the fixed signs. You notice that what represents Scorpio is not a scorpion, it's an eagle. Those of you who are well-versed in astrology understand why that is. That speaks to the phoenix rising from the ashes. 2022 is your year to rise from the ashes. That's what the 10 of swords is about, upright. You guys are in the reverse, which means that you're holding on. It's time to relinquish that and release. That's the only reason why this confusion is here. That's the only reason why you don't know how to move forward, because your baseline that you're coming from, your home base, is holding on to dead things. Fuck the shit, let it go, right? What lies before you is so much greater than what you're leaving behind. That's the only reason why these two cards are in the reverse. If you want to look at this in, Roman numerals and symbolism, that's 2 and 2, and Roman numerals, it's like, 2 lines, 11, 11. This is like your threshold, your gateway, being in alignment with yourself, the is not is paradigm, being balanced, aka temperance, transcending a timeline, You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that wonderful stuff. This is what you guys are called to. The reason why it's in the reverse is because this energy is blocked. Because of this. It's something that needs to be let go of. Die to it. Scorpio, it ain't worth it. What's lying for you on the other side of this? Ooh, child, it's going to be so worth it. But anyway, that's been your reading. I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended reading where I'm going to play out the rest of these energies. And of course, your soul session is over there. On my network, we have the shadow work course over there. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, you don't have to. This is not a soft sell. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. Do you. You feel what I'm saying? But I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You or someone you know has been considering therapy. Get started today with BetterHelp. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to go ahead and jump into your cards to see what we have for you guys for the month of February, my friends. Let's see here. You guys got to be cut in the middle. All right. All right. First card out, Gemini. We have the King of Swords in the reverse. In my first inclination, this is a male figure that is an air sign. So we're talking about Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. The next card that you guys have is the Page of Swords. So here's the thing that's interesting with these two. This is a new idea or inspiration that's come in for you guys. But I feel this idea, what you guys feel compelled to do, feels a tad bit lofty minded. So it's more or less the practicality of who and how you are, or a male figure, father figure, boss. So this could be an idea that comes in to better the company that you work for or the team, or an idea that you have about your own life that either a romantic partner or father figure, a position of authority, doesn't necessarily agree with because it seems too lofty minded. It seems a little too dreamy for them. I feel that's going to be the biggest challenge for you guys this month. Also, how I can see this is how this is something that's presenting in both of you, where the idea that may have come up for you guys in the month of February is something that seems childish, is the best way I could put it, for your more mature sentiments, if you will. So it's more or less, I feel with this Page of Swords, this is something that's coming in that's divine inspiration from spirit. But it's kind of that contrast between, if you think about children and children having the spirit of wonder, fairy tales, believing that anything is possible. And I feel in your adult mindset, it's the thought of, even though this is something that kind of tickles your fancy, that makes you excited, it's something that you would actually want to pursue. It's the fact that it feels just too childish for you guys to pursue it. So you're kind of denying it as just like, a random message. And my attention is being brought to on this card. If my autofocus will be nice, I don't think it will because my autofocus is not. Okay, thank you, autofocus. The little raven here. Of course, ravens are always symbolic of intuition. So, and gosh, I'm even looking at it. It's like I'm looking at these cards. The raven, wait, hold on. I got to get my mirroring together. The raven is looking back at the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is looking towards the past. So it's more or less, this is a dream you guys have had or an inspiration you guys may have had in childhood, whether it was like a childhood dream or something along those lines, or before you were marred by life. But I feel like your more practical masculine sentiments are more or less denying this, of like, that's not realistic. Like, we need to be more practical with things. But I feel this is really a call this month for you guys to reattune to that part of you that once upon a time believed anything was possible, right? So for a lot of you, if this isn't a person outside of you, this is speaking to your own mindset and your own masculine sentiments that have become comfortable with the doing and the action and the achieving, that the receiving element, the spiritual element, the intuitive element has kind of lost its value up to this point. And this is like the byproduct of conditioning and things of the sort. So what this is really saying for me, Gemini, is that there's an inspiration that comes to you guys. And I feel this more in the beginning part of February. So this literally would be pinging into January. This could be between like the 30th to even all the way up into the 12th of February, of just like this random idea that you guys get to do something. But the only thing that's really holding you back is like, that's not practical. That's not realistic, right? The next card that you guys have is the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, autofocus does not like me. And of course, most of you guys know that's my independent man card. And I feel this is something that you guys are desiring. It's something that you really want. It's something that you want to see matriculate into your life. I feel like in your heart of hearts, you feel this is what you're called to be. You're called to be someone who's independent, that doesn't rely on other people, that's self-sustaining. For some of you, this is really speaking to self-employment. However, it's the war within your own mind where there's a part of you that's saying you need to be logical, you need to be logical, you need to be practical, right? And in order for us to be this in the upright, in order for us to be self-sustaining or independent or to have a successful business, we need to follow checks and balances, bureaucracy, and all of those good things. But this challenging thought that's coming in with the Page of Pentacles is literally throwing caution to the wind with this. So these are two competing energies that you have. And when we're looking at court cards, of course, we're speaking to these different tiers. I feel you guys have reached the mental mastery, but it's reaching that mental mastery and getting too comfortable there to where it's becoming stagnant because you're not infusing this very raw feminine energy into this masculine. And of course, Gemini, you guys being represented by the Lover's card, and that's speaking to, most people say, a head or heart decision. I see it differently. I infuse the energy of the Temperance card into that. Your opposite sign, Sagittarius, which is speaking to a balance in between the two. So it never was a head or heart decision. It's a head and heart decision. But there's one that needs to be the leader, which really speaks to masculine and feminine energies, meaning that the heart is supposed to be the leader because that's the receptive energy that's getting insights from spirit. And the mind is supposed to be in service or in submission to the heart space, meaning that the masculine faculties of mind and thought and, action and things of the sort, that's how we birth what exists in the physical realm. I mean, in the ethereal realm into the physical, so the two should be working in accordance with each other. But I feel, of course, in the day and time that we live in, there's more of a value that's on, action, achievement, and things of the sort with the masculine energy. So it's totally denying this very raw, pure energy that's coming like fresh from spirit in the mental domain. So that clearly says to me that there's like $1 million idea, and $1 million not meaning in the literal sense of $1 million, but whatever your personal value system is aligned with, whatever it is that would be worth $1 million to you, right? this is something you've gotten the inspiration to do, but it's, you know, you being free-spirited, fun and fancy free, following your heart once upon a time. I feel there's been a lot, especially for masculine figures, whether that's, you know, a boss, a, you know, father figure, an authority figure. It's kind of silenced this part of you that is able to daydream and fantasize and tap into what's possible, you know. And you've inadvertently, and this sounds a lot to me like what I got for Sagittarius, which once again, even if it's not in your chart, I would go watch it because that's you guys' opposite sign. I spoke to them about a lot of the things I talked about in the shadow work course, which is how it's like our father figures and mother figures project their shadows onto us. And it's like, I'm seeing that same dichotomy of how it is that you've embodied that father figure, right? Of being realistic, being practical, 1 + 1 = 2 type of deal. And you've forgotten that part of yourself that's extremely free-spirited. And I feel the reason why at this point, why you guys have yet to see like your harvest with the 9 of Pentacles, why it is that you don't feel at the point of your independence and you feel like you're still like trapped in that energy of like toil and labor, paycheck to paycheck, like why you guys are feeling that energy is because you don't see the fruits of your labor. But the reason why is because, like I said, your proverbial $1 million idea lies with that very page, childlike, you know, childhood wonder energy of the Page of Swords. And you guys have fully embodied the King of Swords to a fault. It's like you're being a little too logical, and not even a little too logical, child. You being a lot of logical, right? To where it's difficult to see how you could tap back into this very feminine energy of the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. So even though you guys, to the outside looking in, people may feel that you guys have gotten to this place of mastery, and you may even be aware that people see you that way. It's just personally, it doesn't feel fulfilling. You know, you can't sit back and say, wow, look at all of this that I've built. It's like you still feel like you have more to do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracles for you guys to see any additional messages that we have for you for the month of February. Whoop. Wait, this one turned backwards. I think that's all of them. Okay, all those are all right. Just making sure I didn't have any where they were upright. So the card that came out is Strength. That's Leo energy. And it says fortitude, holding firm, taming oneself, discipline, and restraint. Dude, I feel that this, when we think about like strength in the tarot sense, right? It's a balance between that sensory consciousness and that higher consciousness. I feel you guys caught the wave of this, but with this King of Swords, it's like you went a little bit to the extreme. It's like you're focused too much on practicality. You're focused too much on, you know, and I feel like the thing that's been lost, Gemini, if I could say it wholeheartedly, this is so weird. I feel compelled to pull one of these for you guys, and I'm going to do it because I feel compelled to. One of these daily guidance angel cards. But it's almost like you caught the wave to align with this, but you ended up doing it to the extreme, to where you became this very practical, logical person. And it's not saying that you shouldn't be practical or logical. It's like, I feel you guys truly needed self-discipline because that's really what was lacking. But I feel like, as opposed to like your opposite sign, Sagittarius, going backwards in order to go forwards, it's like going backwards, seeing, oh, I lack self-discipline, and then making self-discipline your religion, to where you've totally forgotten fun and daydreaming and fantasizing and possibilities and what could be, and, you know, the transforming vibrational energy of wonder. It's like you guys lost that in your process and you got really caught up into this. But the thing that's missing with this is true courageousness. It's like you're fitting all of the tenets that typically a Capricorn would, like strategy, practical action, all of the logistics, right? But you totally missed in the process of that, of what actually like brings your soul joy, what sets your soul on fire. And I feel that it's your past self, like your younger self, that you would have to tap into again to remember what that is. Because in the journey, you've reached what the external world would say would be success, but you're not personally fulfilled. Because whatever that Nine of Pentacles represents for you, even though you may have the mental trappings of it, it's not what your definition of success or fulfillment is. And that's what we're talking about going back to retrieve. So the card that came out for you guys is Notice the Signs. And it says, yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you're loved and never alone. And that's the thing, man. The thing that you guys need to remember and never forget is that you are on a path that's guided by spirit. You're never forgotten in all of this. And I feel in so many ways, there's been so many signs and synchronicities that have come along your path to remind you of that. And because you're feeling as if you're not getting any signs or synchronicities or messages from spirit, you're relying on what it is that you know, which is the discipline and strategic nature that you've cultivated up to this point. But there's still a lack of unfulfillment. There's still a lack of fulfillment is how I want to say that, right? So the whole thing with this is there's a need to go back to this gal, right? It's going back to that raw energy of what got you excited once upon a time, because that's the key that unlocks the gate of what this Nine of Pentacles is for you. And everything that you've mastered in your mental faculties, these are things that you can use in service to it, which is the true definition of the tarot card that represents your sign, that of which is the Lovers. It's you realizing, and go ahead and look it up. This is it's a set song by Osho. And you could literally put this in Google because I don't know what the name of it is, but it's like, why is the mind always running like crazy when the heart wants to say something? If you literally put that in Google or in YouTube, you'd find it. But I suggest you guys listen to that because it speaks to this whole thing about how our minds want to be in control of our experience because it knows it's not the true master, the heart is. So this is about you guys reacquainting yourselves with that. It's understanding that even though Gemini is a zodiac sign that's very masculine in nature, which means you're very intellectual, you're action oriented. It's about putting your mental children out into the world. There's a need to tap back into that sense of wonder and that feminine energy, right? Because that's the true sense of courage. The world says that it's not, right? But it's an unbalanced sense of strength. And I feel your ancestors, your angels, your guides have been sending you so many signs in reference to this. So it's about waking up and paying attention to those. And I feel that you guys set yourself free from this little stagnation that you're in or this unfulfillment that you're in, my wonderful Gemini. So that has been your reading for February, my wonderful Gemini. If you want to know more about this or see how this plays out, follow me on over to my network or any of the other platforms that I'm on. The links for that are in the description box below this video if you're about that life. But if not, I still love your face. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.